All right, guys. So once again, Stephen A. Simp has put his foot in his mouth. This time talking about the Los Angeles Angels, Japanese superstar Major League Baseball player Shohei Ohtani, who is a beast, right? He's probably one of the best two-way baseball players that we've ever seen. Okay, I mean, the guy is getting compared to Babe Ruth, right? He's having one of the single greatest seasons that we've ever seen. And Stephen A. Smith, who has a history of hating on Asians, right? Going back to German land days on the Knicks, really gave a stupid take about Shohei Ohtani and his marketability as the face of Major League Baseball because of his ability or lack thereof to speak English. Take a look.
I would remind you, Max, I would remind my brother Jeff, I would remind others that baseball is in trouble. The audience for Major League Baseball, the demographic repeatedly gets older. It's not getting younger. That younger demographic, which is the targets for all of the advertisers and sponsors and everybody else out there, that's the NBA and the NFL. Major League Baseball is struggling miserably. That's why you got a lot of people that have turned against the commissioner, Rob Manfred, because of all the changes that he's tried to incorporate and implement in an effort to save the sport by elevating its level of interest, okay? And it's even alienated some of the players who are traditionalists and want things to remain the same as they always were. We all know that baseball, the sport of baseball, led by its players, are always the last to the party. Always the last to the party. They're so reluctant to change. They're always the last to the party. When I look at Ohtani, he is big time. Babe Ruth, 33 home runs, batting .279, got a 4-on-1 record with a .379 ERA as a pitcher. This brother is special. Make no mistake about it. But the fact that you got a foreign player that doesn't speak English, that needs an interpreter, believe it or not, I think contributes to harming the game to some degree when that's your box office appeal. It needs to be somebody like Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, those guys. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, that's not the case. That's all I mean by that. I'm not taking anything away from Ohtani. I know what he's doing on the field. I know it's nothing short of spectacular. And I understand that baseball is an international sport itself in terms of participation. But when you talk about an audience gravitating to the tube or to the ballpark to actually watch you, okay, I don't think it helps that the number one face is a dude that needs an interpreter so you can understand what the hell he's saying in this country. And that's what I'm trying to say. You know, in other sports, Max, like basketball, you notice, Dirk Nowitzki was German and Manu Ginobili and others were from other places. And guess what, Max? They spoke fluent English. You understood what they were saying when somebody was interviewing them. They didn't need an interpreter. It goes a long way. For some reason, with Major League Baseball, you got these guys that need those interpreters, and I think that compromises the ability for them to ingratiate themselves with the American public, which is what we're really talking about.
All right, guys. So, unlike most people who are commentating on this subject, I actually showed you guys all of the context of what Stephen A. Smith was saying, just so people don't get confused about what he was actually trying to say. Now, I just want to give my interpretation of what he was trying to say. I think what he was trying to say is that Major League Baseball has a problem, right? Their problem is that their audience is older, okay? And that all the money is with the younger crowd. So Major League Baseball has an issue from a marketability standpoint because the game can only be marketed to older people, and that's not who advertisers are going afterwards, right? And that is leading to the failure of Major League Baseball. That's his argument. And he's saying that for this older crowd, a Japanese baseball player who can't speak English, according to him, I'm going to address that, but who can't speak English is not going to be a very marketable player for the league, okay? It's going to be hard for the league to actually market him and to make him the face of the game. Now, a lot of people found this comments to be very controversial and really stupid, and they actually were really, really stupid. Okay, because first of all, when it comes to sports, man, and this is why I love sports, because sports is the closest thing we have to a pure meritocracy. If you take the needing to have top 1% genetics out of it, right? If you take that out of it, it's basically the closest thing we have to a pure meritocracy. And one thing about sports, I don't care what color you are, right? If you're good, you're good, right? If you're good, people will love you. They will love you, right? No matter who you are, right? And I mean, even if people hate you, right? That's still good for the player, and that's good for the marketability of the league. What it really comes down to is just being good. And this guy is amazing. He's amazing, right? And by the way, I want to mention Stephen A. a month ago said that he was just nice, right? I mean, come on. Like that's how much Stephen A. is really just kind of out of touch. But if you're good, you're good. I'm going to give you an example. Look at Ochiro Suzuki, who had a 28-year career playing Major League Baseball. He was a Japanese baseball player, okay? Japanese. Now, he didn't always speak English in interviews, right? He didn't always do that. But he did learn to speak English. And also on top of that, fans loved him. Fans absolutely loved the guy, right? He was adored by Major League Baseball fans. All those old boomers, right, that Stephen A. Smith is talking about. Look at Kawhi Leonard in the NBA. For as boring as he is boring, okay? It's like watching snow melt, right? He's boring. However, Nike and the league has found a way to market him and to create a brand out of how boring Kawhi Leonard is. Okay, they've made a brand out of that because he's a great player, period. I mean, listen, marketers, when it comes to marketing, man, like, again, main thing is, are you great? If you're great, advertisers will find a way to make money off you, right? They just will. Now, it helps to have personality and to have a flashy style of play and a bunch of other things that can help marketers. But ultimately, in the end of the day, like I said, it really just comes down to performance. And Stephen A. Smith, he tried to kind of backtrack on these comments, okay, and tried to say, well, you know, I'm just saying he need to learn how to speak English. And in my opinion, again, this is more ignorance because he can speak English, Stephen A. He also apparently can speak some Spanish and Japanese. Now, if he chooses to use an interpreter or not when it comes to interviews, that's his choice. And he can have a good reason for that because, one, if you're uncomfortable with a language, English is notoriously hard to learn, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys understand, but when foreigners try to learn English, it is really hard, okay? We have one of the hardest languages to actually learn in the world, right? And when you're giving an interview, you want to make sure you're saying things that you mean to be saying. So he might not necessarily be comfortable with English as much, but that don't mean that the dude can't speak English or that he's not marketable because he can't speak English, right? He probably uses English around his teammates. I'm pretty sure he does. Again, I've seen him speak English. I've also seen him speak Spanish, right? I'm just saying. So it's like Stephen A. Smith doesn't even know that the guy is multilingual, right? He knows multiple languages. He doesn't even know that. And then also on top of that, I think the part that a lot of people are missing is that low key, what Stephen A. Smith is trying to say is that, well, the boomers that watch baseball, the older generation, they're not going to like an Asian guy who can't speak English. They're not going to be able to go along with that. They're not going to be able to get on board with that. You need somebody that can speak English, right? That's ultimately what he's saying. He's really calling the baseball fan base bigots to a certain extent. That's what he's saying. And in my opinion, I think a lot of people are missing that. They're saying that Stephen A. Smith is the one that's being racist. And again, like I said, if a white guy said this, everybody be saying it was racist, right? I mean, he's getting called out as racist, justifiably so, for saying this comment. Because again, if a white guy said it, they'd be called racist. So hey, it is what it is, right? But I think what he's really trying to get at here is that the fans of baseball are just not going to go along with it, and that he's really not marketable. Now, also in response to this backlash, you know, Stephen A., he has the worst time actually responding to this stuff. As he put out a tweet, he said, "Amazing that folks still don't know me after all these years. If I am wrong about something, I will apologize, especially if I unintentionally offended any group of people, because it's the right thing to do. Period. I'm black. I would know. See y'all tomorrow." Somebody tell me what Stephen A. Smith is trying to say by mentioning that he's black. Right? I need a translator to figure out what the hell is Stephen A. Smith trying to say with this tweet. Okay? Is he trying to say that he has personal experience with being offended, right? Because he's black or whatever, right? I really don't know. Okay? Is he saying that he would apologize if he thought he offended a group because he's black? I really don't know, right? And sometimes I think Stephen A. Smith really doesn't know what he's trying to say. Okay? But when it comes to improving the game of baseball, I think the issue is not foreign players in baseball, because again, when it comes to any sport, especially pro sports, people just want to see the best of the best. It is up to the league to figure out ways to market those players and to market the game. But I think one thing that baseball has done that I think has turned a lot of people off is try to become woke, right? Because they want to reach a younger audience. And I think that's something that Stephen A. Smith probably should have mentioned or said about the marketability of the game over anything having to do with foreign players that can't speak English, right? I think that baseball should try to remain a traditional game. Obviously, I think there's some things that they can do, right, to modernize some things, but they should try to remain as traditional as possible. And I think that if baseball kind of embraced that and stop being woke and just focused on the game and just marketing the best players in the league, maybe it could help. I don't know, right? Again, I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world, but hey, who knows? I might go buy a Shohei Ohtani baseball jersey after this, just because Stephen A. Smith said that, right? I might start watching baseball more just because Stephen A. Smith said this, right? Who knows? But regardless, what Stephen A. Smith said, I think was ignorant. And this is what happens when your whole commentary is always around race, when the only thing you can think about is race. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.